Tutorials by Dacade. My name is Dacade, and today we are going to work on starting an inventory system, which is going to lead to a few other things such as more interactable objects like a treasure chest and things like that. So, yeah, let's get to it. But before we do, make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, as I have videos like this coming out all the time, and I don't want you to miss anything. Now that that's out of the way, we can start by first creating the coin. So what we want to do is we want to go to our art, and then the world, and then objects. And somewhere in here, we will find a coin. So we're going to just drag that into the scene somewhere. For now, we'll just move it to the player layer. And there it is. And let's move it somewhere closer to the player, so that way when we go to test it, it'll be a little bit easier. All right. We will rename this coin. Now we're not going to animate it right now, but as you can see, there is an animation for this coin. There is also under objects a coin here that jumps around. Do this real fast here. 16, no filter, and none. Hit apply. There we go. Oh, wait. Oh, we gotta edit it. Slice. Cell size. I believe it's 16 by 16. Slice and apply. There we go. So there is this coin, although I'm not going to use this coin just because I'm also going to use this coin for the UI, which we're going to work on here in just a second. And this coin has a little bit of a shadow, and I don't want that shadow to pop up here, so we're just going to use this coin for now. But anyway, let's get on to working with that UI. So double click on canvas so it zooms out. We're going to right click on it. We're going to go to UI and we're going to go to image. And we'll name this one just coin. And then we're just going to go back to our art, our world. We're going to find that coin image again. There it is. And we're just going to drag that sprite onto the source image, and you'll see it turns into that. What we need to do now is move that, move it to 570, 450. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that should do right there. And then on that coin, we're going to right click, we're going to go to UI, and we're going to go to Text Mesh Pro. And we'll just name this coin count. And then for that, we're going to move it to 155, change the height to 100. And then down here for the alignment, we want to make sure it's centered and centered. And then put in 8 zeros. And just go to the game view and make sure that looks okay, which it does. Now, one thing that we've never done, at least I don't think we have, is right here where it says font asset. If you have a different font you want to drop in here, you can. I'm not going to go over that just yet, but there are a ton of free fonts that you can get online. Some of them are free, others are free, but then you have to give credit to the person who created it. And then, of course, there's ones that you can pay for. So. Or you could create your own if you have the knowledge and capabilities of doing so. There are some fonts that the little package I gave you comes with, but they're not like in font format. They're just game assets. Each one is a game asset, which technically you could use. It just requires a little bit more work and a little bit more code. So we're just going to do this the simple way, and we're just going to use the font that Text Mesh Pro comes with. Again, there are others out there. You can find them yourself. They're free, or some of them are free, I should say. Some of them you have to pay for, but we're just going to use this. Anyway, that is all that we need to do for the UI. So now let's go back to our coin. So one of the things that we need to do for the coin is we do need to add a box collider 2D to it. And let's double click on the coin and get in onto that there. And let's edit that collider to be just the same size as the coin. And it's okay to be a little bit bigger than the coin. It favors the player a little bit, so there we go. All right, so that's all we should need to do for now in Unity. Now we need to do some scripting. So go to your scripts, go to game, and we are going to right-click. We are going to create mono behavior script, and we're going to name this inventory manager. And then we're going to open that up. And let me pull up my notes on the other screen here. All right. So at the top, put it into using TMP. There we go. So the TMP Pro, you don't have to put this in depending on what version of Visual Studio that you're using. But I put it in just because sometimes Visual Studio gets confused and decides it wants to do something else. So make sure you get that TMP RO up in there. All right. So first we want to make this a singleton. So we're going to do a public static inventory manager instance get private set. All right, we'll finish the singleton here in a minute. We're going to do a header, and we're going to put UI elements. And then we're going to put a tooltip in here called the coin text. We are going to serialize the field, and we're going to do a private text mesh pro UGUI. And we're going to name that coin text. And then below that, we're just going to do a private int coins equals 0. And then a public int capital C coins and coins. All right, so now that that is done, we're going to finish up the singleton, and we're going to do a private void awake, and if instance is null, meaning there is no instance, then the instance becomes this. And then don't destroy on load game object. Else destroy this. So I've gone over singletons before, so check back on my other videos if you're not sure what a singleton is. But the brief of it is a singleton is something that will be consistent throughout your game. So when you change scenes and things like that, you'll always have this. All right. So now that that's done, we can start working on the meat of this. And we're going to do a public void add coins int amount. And then we're going to do coins plus equals amount. And then we're going to do update coin UI. Now, this is going to give you an error because we haven't done that yet. We will do that here shortly. But first, we're going to think ahead here, and we're going to do a public void remove coins, and then an int amount. And then we're going to do coins minus, we're going to do equals mathf.max coins minus amount in 0. So what this is going to do here is it's going to find what the max number is. So let's just say you have 3 coins, and something's supposed to remove 4 coins. Well, 3 minus 4 is -1. So instead of having -1 coins, we're going to have 0 coins. But let's just say you have 10 coins, and we're subtracting 5 coins. Well, 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 is greater than 0, so then your coins will be set to 5. There's a couple other checks that we can put in here later whenever we're doing things like purchasing to make sure that you have enough coins to purchase something. But for now, we're just going to keep it simple. And again, we're going to update coin UI. And I forgot to put the little parentheses up there. And now let's get rid of that error. And we're just going to do a private void update coin UI. And then all we're going to do here is if coin text is not null, meaning there is a coin text, then we're going to do coin text.text, not tag, coin text.text equals coins dot toString. So all that's going to do is just take the amount of coins and actually put it in string form, so that way it'll show up on our UI. And then there's one more thing that we're going to do, which technically we don't have to do, but it just makes it look good here. So we're going to do a public void set coin text reference, and then text mesh pro UGUI, and then text. And then here we're just going to do coin text equals text. And then we're just going to update coin UI. All right. So that is all that we need to do for now for the inventory manager. But now we're going to go into Unity, and we are going to create the actual coin script. Give me 1 second here. My notes are being a little weird. All right, so we're going to create a folder, and we're just going to call this items. And in that folder, we're going to create a mono behavior script called coin. And for whatever strange reason, this opened up when it wasn't ready for it. So we're going to double click on coin, and there we go. And we'll get rid of all that. Now, sometimes when creating objects, if you're going to have different objects, we've gone over this before, we can inherit. But coins are so simple that we don't really need to inherit from anything. So we're not going to inherit from anything. We're just going to go right into this. So we're going to do a tooltip, the coins value, and then we're going to serialize the field, and then we're just going to do a private int coin value, and we're just going to default it to 1. And then we're going to do a public void interact. And then we're going to do inventory manager dot instance dot add coins coin value. And then we are going to destroy game object. And then I'll explain all this here in a second. We're going to do a private void on trigger enter 2D. And again, I like to change collision to other. And then if other dot compare tag player, then we're just going to do interact. And that is literally all we need to do for the coin. So what's going to happen is when the player collides with the item, it's going to do the interact up here. and it's going to call the inventory manager. It's going to call the add coins that we added in the inventory manager, and it's going to add the coin value, and then it's going to destroy the coin. So that is all that we're doing here. Now there is one more thing that we need to do. If we go back to the games, we go to create and mono behavior script, and we're going to name this coin UI binder. Once again, Visual Studio open without waiting for me to tell it to open. And we're going to open up that coin binder. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a tooltip, the coin text. Then we're going to serialize the field, and we're going to do a private text mesh pro UGUI and call that one coin text. And down here, we're going to do a private void start if inventory manager dot instance is not null, meaning there is one. Then we're going to do inventory manager dot instance dot set coin text reference to coin text. So all this is really doing is just a little helper script. If we don't do that and we load the game up, hold on one second, there we go. If we don't do this and we load the game up, you're going to have all these zeros here until you get your first coin. Again, it's not necessary, and there's different ways of doing it. To be honest with you, I'm not sure why I did it this way, but nonetheless, doing this will look a little bit better. So now what we need to do is we need to go to coin. We need to add the component, and we need to add the coin script to this. We'll keep that to 1. But up here where it says managers, we are going to create an empty. We'll call that inventory manager. And in here, we're going to put in the inventory manager script. Where it says coin text, we are going to go find our coin count, drag and drop that there. And then we're also going to add the coin UI binder. And again, it's going to ask for that coin text. And we're going to drop that in there. Now what we're going to do with our coin is we're going to go to prefabs. We already have stuff for items. So we'll just drag and drop the coin in there. And now we have a prefab coin. We can just... Oh, I have to go to the scene to do it. We can just drag and drop into the scene. Or we can create anytime like an enemy dies, which we'll get the loot tables and stuff soon. But that should be all we need to do. So let's give this guy a test and make sure it works the way we want it to. So as soon as it starts up here, your coins are set to 0. We get our first coin. We're at 1. We're at 2. And now we're at 3. So this guy worked. If we were to enter the house, I have not done this yet, but if we set up a canvas and set the canvas up exactly as this in there, and we set up a manager and all the managers in there, then as soon as we go into the house, this would persist and we'd still have 3 coins. But I did not do that. That is something that I will do later. For now, I just wanted to get these coins working, and they do. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. If you liked it, make sure you give it the big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as I have videos like this coming out all the time, and I don't want you to miss anything. Plus, it does help me out, so I won't lie on that. Now that that's all out of the way, as always, thank you. Have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.